Hey Sneak Peekers, I'm Simi.
And I'm Nick. Welcome back to another episode of Sneak Peek.
We've got a lot of South by Southwest and Oscars content for y'all today, including 2 more red carpets for Richard Linklater's Apollo 10.5, A Space Age Childhood, and the Daniels Everything Everywhere All at Once.
That's right. Kelsey's also here tonight to review Everything Everywhere for us. Mason's here to let us know all about who was best and worst dressed at the Academy Awards.
Ryan, Hunter, and Robbie are also here tonight to discuss everything that went down during the Oscars, from the winners and snubs to the drama that unfolded on live television.
You won't want to miss this.
Hey Nick, you saw the Oscars, right?
Of course I did, Simi.
So you saw everything that went down live.
Yes, I did. After making an unscripted remark toward Jada Pinkett Smith, host Chris Rock was accosted by actor Will Smith live and on stage in front of not just the audience in the Dolby Theater, but the millions of people who watched the Oscars on television.
Since the incident, many celebrities have given their opinions on the matter, including the real-life Richard Williams, who Will had won an award for portraying, who claimed that the family does not condone anyone hitting anyone else unless it's in self-defense.
And just yesterday, Will Smith posted a public apology to Chris Rock, the Academy, and the Williams family on Instagram, stating that his behavior was unacceptable and inexcusable.
The Academy had also considered suspending Will Smith's membership, but they will not be taking away his Best Actor Oscar.
And in recent news, actor Ezra Miller was just arrested in Hawaii for disorderly conduct and harassment.
While at a karaoke bar, Miller began to yell obscenities and became agitated when people started karaoke, grabbing the microphone from a woman mid-song and lunging at a man playing darts.
Miller currently has 2 upcoming Warner Brothers films, both of which are part of very popular franchises, so who knows what the studio will say about their recent misbehavior.
What is with these superhero actors getting arrested lately?
I have no idea, but I hope it's a trend that stops with Miller.
Anyways, let's kick off tonight's episode with Mason with the best and worst dress of the Oscars. Take it away, Mason.
Hey Sneak Peekers, it's Mason Simpson, and tonight I'm super excited to review some of the best dressed celebs and fashion fails from this past weekend's Oscars ceremony. Starting the evening off on a great note, Ariana DeBose accepted her award for Best Supporting Actress in a stunning red 2-piece. The matching Valentino slacks, low-cut tank, and trailing oversized wrap brought a bright prop of color to the stage and helped her to stand out as she walked down the red carpet with Steven Spielberg and Rita Moreno. DeBose's pants marked a trend that reappeared throughout the night as several other nominees also opted out of gowns. One of the funnier hosts, Wanda Sykes, definitely embodied this trend with her various costume changes. From her red carpet Sergio Hudson tuxedo to her black sequined suit, Sykes definitely made the menswear work for her. This held especially true for her opener look, an all-white 3-piece suit with elegantly draped fabric. This look from Sykes was complemented beautifully by the matching white off-the-shoulder jumpsuit worn by second host Regina Hall. The clean lines, playful cutouts, and extended sleeves elevated this look to bring all the glamour that the Oscars are known for. Hall continued to impress with her change into another off-the-shoulder look for her bit about the Oscars' most eligible bachelors. This rouged pink gown brought the best of both worlds, combining romantic chiffon with a structured bodice. Lily James rocked a similar color palette when she announced the Best Oscar for Best Animated Feature Film. James's blush Versace gown blended detailed beading and embroidery, a fairy tale train, and an extra-high thigh-high slit. Coming off of her appearances in Pam and Tommy and Cinderella 2015, I feel like this fit perfectly embodied a Disney princess version of Pamela Anderson. Departing from the princess palette, James went for a bit of a darker look with her all-black after-party gown. Seeing what Anya Taylor-Joy also wore to the Vanity Fair after-party, it's clear that if you were going to dress for the festivities, it better be sheer, black, and structured. Finishing out our best dressed list, I'd like to turn just a little attention to the men on the red carpet last Sunday. While no one provided anything too far out of the ordinary, I think kudos could go to Timothée Chalamet's shirtless, sparkling Louis Vuitton blazer combo and Simu Liu's bold all-red tux. Now, with the best dressed out of the way, we can finally start to dig into some of the ceremony's biggest fashion fails, which, spoiler alert, mostly came from Amy Schumer. While I'm sure she has a lovely personality in real life, Schumer's fashion just didn't quite cut it. Starting with her first look, I appreciate the sentiment of her plunging navy blue gown, but the embroidered bow out of shattered crystals didn't read well for me. It also didn't help that her next fit found her suspended from the ceiling in a footless Spider-Man jumpsuit constructed from Party City quality fabric. I know that it was all for the bit, but I don't think the comedy was successful enough to justify such a cheap look. This also rang true for Schumer's second-to-last look of the night, where she donned a feather-lined little black dress before kicking Kirsten Dunst out of her seat. Now, moving past the Amy Schumer of it all, I think that this Oscars featured some pretty great looks with definite trends towards pants and structured silhouettes. But that's all for this Style Squad Sneak Peekers. Make sure to let us know your thoughts on the Oscars' Best Dressed and Fashion Fails at Sneak Peek TV on Instagram and Twitter. Now, back to the hosts.
Hey, Simi, are you excited for Everything Everywhere All at Once?
I am very excited to see it. I absolutely love Michelle Yeoh.
Me too. Kelsey here has already seen the movie, and she's here tonight with a review for us. Kelsey?
What's up, Sneak Peekers? It's Kelsey Leffingwell, and this past spring break, I got the pleasure of attending the red carpet for the premiere of the A24 film, Everything Everywhere All at Once. And while this was the opening night film, it had the right to be an every night film. This film was an incredible collaboration between the Daniels. I love this film because while I would normally be afraid to see a movie that tackles the multiverse, this movie did an incredible job of keeping me on my toes the entire time. The googly eyes, the rocks, and the incredible performances of Jamie Lee Curtis, Michelle Yeoh, and Ke Huy Quan was absolutely amazing. While I don't want to give anything away, this film almost had me in tears throughout many parts. I was in shock at how amazing this movie was. The only downside I had personally was that I was caught many times wondering if the film was over after several scenes towards the end. This didn't take away from the film at all, but it left me wondering, is this what the multiverse feels like too? I have all amazing things to say about this film, as I'm sure a lot of you do too after this past Friday. And if you haven't seen the film yet, be sure to go check it out as soon as possible. And be sure to let us know your thoughts on social media at Sneak Peek TV. That's all from me, and now back to the host.
Thanks, Kelsey. We can't wait.
And now here's Hunter's red carpet interviews for the film from South by Southwest.
Let's take a look.
I'm from Sneak Peek at UT Austin, so we're film students at UT Austin.
Hell yeah.
And so my first question for you is, your first movie was about a farting corpse, and now this one's about the multiverse. What's your creative process like? How do you come up with these crazy ideas?
I think we're kind of inspired by a challenge, you know? And so a lot of times, square one, we get most excited when we aren't sure if we can pull it off, you know?
Yeah.
So we were
the
like, farting corpse,
like,
can you make a movie about that? And it was almost a joke, and then suddenly it was like, no, this is interesting. I haven't seen this. I think maybe we could pull it off. Oh.
And then with the multiverse, we were like, the multiverse is a really fun concept, but when you actually take it to its, its
logical
conclusion, where you go to infinity, story breaks down. The whole movie falls apart. Like, we were like, what if we did a multiverse movie where the movie destroyed itself, and then...
Can you make a compelling movie about meaninglessness?
And then can we bring it back and still give the audience something beautiful and fun?
So years ago, that was the thing. We're like, let's try.
Like I said, we are film students, so what advice would you give aspiring filmmakers?
Yeah, say something worth saying with your movies. And find people that inspire you and hang out with them, ride their coattails. One day you'll get to take half the credit for the movie, you know.
My question is, you've had such a long and varied career. What drew you to this project?
Well, first of all, I haven't been acting in 20 years. And it was Michelle Yeoh's movie, Crazy Rich Asians, that got me thinking about getting back into acting again. And I called up a friend of mine, who's an agent, and asked him, if he wanted to rep me. And this is after decades without an agent. He said yes. And 2 weeks later, I got a call about this project that stars Michelle Yeoh. and there was this character that is her husband. Never in a million years did I think I would land this role. Had you asked me, would I want to win the lottery or win this role, I would have told you without a doubt, I wanted this. So to be able to offer the opportunity to play this character Wayman, and not just one Wayman, but 3 versions of Wayman, it's just a dream come true. So, the timing couldn't be more impeccable.
I just wanted to say, what drew you to this project at first? What drew you to join this film?
So I worked with the Daniels on a show called Nora from Queens, and we shot this weird little episode where I had to speed rap to Aaron Carter, and Shiner dumped a bucket of mud on me. And I fell in love with them. And so I followed them to LA, and within a week of me being there, they called me and they're like, hey, we're working on this movie. And I was like, I'll do anything. What I love about Everything Everywhere is that it has it all. We get to be super broad and clowny and disgusting and physical, and then it's also just a really intimate family story. So it feels nice to be able to stretch in all directions.
The stunts in this film and the fights in this film really, it was very important to me that they developed the character and story and moved the story along rather than just being arbitrary, cool action sequences. So I think we did a really beautiful job of marrying the story to this cinematic violence, and I'm really excited for everybody to see it.
Welcome back, and now let's take a look at Ryan's red carpet for Richard Linklater's Apollo 10.5, A Space-Age Childhood.
What's up, Sneak Peekers? My name is Ryan Schwinn. We are here at the red carpet for Apollo 10.5, A Space-Age Childhood. We're going to be talking to the cast and crew, including Richard Linklater, Glenn Powell, and many others. So let's see what they had to say about the film.
It's set in 1969, but realize with a family dynamic and maybe the dad who's got a little bit more of an inner IBM kind of thing going on, it's just very simple, very real. Not necessarily banal, but it has like a real sort of beautifully, ideally pedestrian quality to it. You dig?
Yeah,
and you'll love it. And also, the soundtrack is bananas. Rick just goes crazy with the soundtrack. And also, I was answering a question earlier. 1969, radio was king, man. You got it in your car, you got it in the back of the house, you got it everywhere. And all you had was television with your Walter Cronkite, your Eric Sevareid, and then you had music, and that was everything to a teenager, to a kiddo, to the family. It was their connection. What had happened was when we did principal photography and finished everything 5 days later, the entire world shut down. You know what I mean? It was like we lucked out. Rick's very competitive, and I know he was just like, he started rattling off all these other productions that didn't make it. Like, they were halfway through. These guys were only 2 weeks in. He gets to be like very competitive in a good way, that kind of thing.
We wanted to know a little bit about what the rotoscoping process was like.
Sure.
In preparation for you in your role.
How did I prepare for rotoscope? Well, I put on my costume and I would go out to this giant green studio stage, and it was very interesting because you don't have really any concept of the time period from what's surrounding you, except everything that was visceral. So my costume was period, the counter was period, the props were period, and I was like, oh my god, am I in my Aunt Sandy's house all of a sudden? Because it was the same glasses and the same hairdo. So it was very like a nice kind of flexing back and forth. Not like you're on acid, I've never been on acid. So it just felt a little like, is this real? Are the walls dripping? What's happening? Great foreigners everywhere. And so it was, I don't know, it was a very trippy experience.
Do you have any advice for students like us hoping to become filmmakers one day?
Make films, man. Start doing it. See if you really love it. If you really want to dedicate your life to it. Because you can't anything less. So many people want to do it. That it's kind of like being a pro athlete. You have to have not only the skills, but then some insane work ethic too. No one's going to do much for you. You got to be really, So I don't know. It's a good time though. It's a good time to be starting out. A lot of everything's your friend out there. So yeah.
I think. Look, I was exactly where you guys are right now. As a film student, Again, it's a marathon, not a sprint. You just got to believe in your talent. You got to believe in yourself, and just keep sticking with it. If this is the only thing you've ever wanted to do in the world, this is the only thing I've ever wanted to do in the world, you're going to have a lot of highs and lows, but stick with it. It's worth it.
Just start doing it right now. Just do it and do it and do it and do it again until you get even better at it and you realize how much fun it is. And then start getting paid for it. And then start thinking, how much fun is this? And do I need to keep doing it? Because everybody that I work with now, they are making book reports about Macbeth as a film project. They would find every opportunity to do something that they didn't find fun to make it fun by making it a movie. And I think that's just do it. Not like a Nike thing, but like a for real in life thing. Don't give Nike any credit for this. It's ridiculous.
Hook 'em Orange.
Hook 'em. Thank you so much.
Orange. Baseball season. Let's go, baby.
Thanks, Ryan.
There were so many great films at South by Southwest, just as there were so many great films that were nominated for this year's Oscars.
Yup. Ryan, Hunter, and Robbie are here tonight to recap the prestigious award show for us. Take it away, guys.
Prestigious is a choice word for this year's Oscars. My name is Ryan.
My name's Hunter.
I'm Robbie.
We're also, dressed up in costume here. I'm Riff from West Side Story, snub.
I'm Paolo Gucci from the House of Gucci, another big snub.
Oh,
I'm Buddy from Belfast, aka the movie that robbed the worst person in the world for original screenplay.
So true. So we can go through a little bit of the awards here. Starting off, obviously very, very crazy night with Coda winning Best Picture. Power of the Dog was kind of the front runner throughout the campaign season. 12 nominations versus Coda's 3.
And only won one.
Coda, 3 in, 3 up. It won all 3 awards that it was nominated for. And I mean, it's really just evocative of this late push for Coda, this groundswell of support. It was kind of unceremoniously thrown on Apple TV, and back in August, I didn't really know much about the film. It slowly started picking up the support months after it was placed on Apple TV. Word of mouth was great for the movie. I think, as we start to open back up, last year's Oscars were still kind of in the middle of the pandemic. And as it kind of is turning the corner, it seems like this is the kind of movie that everybody wanted. Just a feel-good story, something that makes you feel warm and fuzzy inside, something that's uplifting, something you can watch with your parents, the kids. The whole family can enjoy Coda. I wanted to shout out Troy Kotzer's speech. I thought it was one of the highlights of the night. It was an emotional speech. It was a really touching speech, and a much-deserved win.
Yeah, that was his win for Best Supporting Actor for Coda. I liked the movie, didn't think it was Best Picture, but I did love his win, and obviously he's such a great guy. Kind of hard to hate on the speech. Robbie, I know you had choice feelings about Coda.
Well, Troy Kotzer, supporting actor, that's deserved. Best Picture? No. Coda, more like Mida.
Got him. So true.
Hey. I mean, I watched it, I just that's a neat movie. That's neat. Okay, moving on to the next one. What should have won was Drive My Car. Let's go.
So true. Drive My Car was awesome. Coda also broke an 89-year-old record. No film has won Best Picture with so few overall nominations since 1932, The Grand Hotel, which is a crazy, crazy statistic to be.
Yeah.
Do you think perhaps if nominations had happened a little bit later, would Coda have seen more love?
Oh, yeah. I think absolutely if we would have seen nominations come a few weeks later, we could have been looking at a Marlee Matlin Best Supporting nomination, Amelia Jones Best Actress nomination, and I think definitely a Sean Hayter Best Director nomination would have been in the cards had nominations come a little bit later. Even maybe that, Best Editing nomination that kept everybody back from predicting Coda to win Best Picture. But I think the other thing we can't brush past is the fact that Troy Kotsur becomes the first deaf actor to win an Academy Award, and it's just a really big deal for representation, and I think it's a really great step for Hollywood as they continue to not push not just racial diversity, but diversity in all terms of representation, whether that be sexualities or disabilities, and I think it's a really important step, and I think it's special that Hollywood did that.
Yeah, and his co-star Marlee Matlin is the only other deaf actor to ever win. That was in Best Actress in 1986, I think.
Yeah.
For Children of a Lesser God. Now, obviously, the elephant in the room, Power the Dog, walking away with only 1 win from 12 nominations. It was the lead. No film has only ever won Best Director since 1967 with The Graduate. Guys, what happened? For real, like what happened?
The dog wasn't powerful enough.
I guess not, like for real.
You know, Bronco Henry, we needed him. Like he wasn't here when we needed him most.
The power of Bronco Henry wasn't strong enough.
It was strong enough for Benedict.
So true.
I think it's a classic case of kind of the expanding academy, this new preferential ballot system that they've put in place, and just The Power of the Dog being a more divisive film. Not everyone's going to connect to the story. It's beautifully shot. The Jane Campion win was obviously deserved for Best Director, but it's not a film that's going to be universally loved like something like Coda, where Coda could take up those lower spots. No one's going to put Coda lower than 5 or 6, versus some people would probably have Power of the Dog at the bottom of their list on that ballot. And so I think that's where it kind of got passed up for Best Picture. And as far as some of the technical categories that people might have thought Power of the Dog could pick up, it just was that Dune sweep. Dune. Yeah. And so the Dune sweep was kind of unstoppable. It was your Mad Max of the year, your tech juggernaut.
Yeah, so true. It was very interesting, especially thinking about like bias against or towards streamers. Netflix every year kind of has their ideal Best Picture winner and just keeps losing out every year. I mean, 2 years ago they had The Irishman, which got 10 nominations. Last year they got Mank, which got 10 nominations. Now Power of the Dog, 12. I think out of all 3 of those,
even the year
only 3 wins.
Yeah, I mean, even if you go the year before, Roma, suspected Best Picture. I mean, Netflix has been so close for so many years now, and to get that first streamer to win Best Picture taken by Apple TV is
the newest one of them all.
I know, it's kind of funny if you think about it, because Netflix has been vying for it so hard, but it's also crazy. I'm sure Netflix will get one in the next 5 to 10 years.
Or maybe this will just keep happening every year.
Maybe it's just going to continue.
Because I feel like we say that, like, I thought Power of the Dog, I was like, this has to be their year. Like, it just keeps going and going.
I mean, when you looked at the pedigree with The Irishman, I was like, how did they not win that? But,
Don't worry, we'll get him next year with Tall Girl 2.
So true. Tall Girl 2. A couple other quick things. Ariana DeBose for West Side Story, supporting actress win.
Deserved.
Huge deserved win. Incredible movie. Winning for the same role that Rita Moreno won for 60 years ago.
Yeah.
So true.
Yeah, it was really, really just great to see them. Other thoughts? Jokes fell flat. Why do we keep making fun of movies?
Animation is for adults too. Let's stop saying it's for kids.
For everybody,
And Zack Snyder won 2 Oscars, y'all. Best fan cheer moment and best popular film. Me and Nick had a great night.
Twitter Snyder cultists are nuts.
They said Zack Snyder's Justice League was ineligible, so we gave it to Army of the Dead, and it was awesome. Yeah, it was a rocking good time.
Zack Snyder won 2 Oscars is quite a statement that I don't think is true. But what do you think? We'd love to hear your thoughts at Sneak Peek TV, all across social media. That's all from us. Now, back to the hosts.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
That's it from us tonight. But make sure to tune in each week at 7:30 to catch all the latest entertainment news.
I'm Nick Flores.
And I'm Simi Shettypet. See you next week, Sneak Peekers.